Hello, so this is our code right here, and the goal of the code is to compare the growth of solar installations and coal production through 1999 to 2012. And here we have our housekeeping command, and the first thing we do is that we ask the user whether it would like to see the production for all or solar installation, and we have only two options for the user to select: the solar and the coal, and we store that in an m variable. And if the user selects solar, we basically store the data containing the production of solar from 1999 to 2012, and we put it in a variable called dataset1, and we calculate the mean and put it in a data called average1, sorry, in a variable called average1, and we output it. Um then from here to like the end of this condition, we're trying to output the graph, and here the year variable just just outputs the first column, and that will be the x value, and the installations variable will be the y value, and after that we're gonna select the color of the background, the which color of the background we want, and that's what this figure function is, and that we're gonna plot the graph, and the axis function is gonna give us the boundaries of our x and y axis. The x label is gonna label the x axis, and the y label function is gonna label the y axis function, so as the title, which also is gonna add to our graph, is gonna look, and it's gonna give us the graph title. The grid on just turns the grid on to mark points better, and mm, the expo feed is used as an exponential function because this type of function fits the shape of the data the best, and the data is a data that's increasing per year, and the m function calculates the slope of the line, and the m variable calculates the slope of the line, and the b variable calculates the y-intercept. The t is used as an the t variable is used as an x-axis increments, because you have to the x value increases from 1999 to 2012, so it's an increment of 1, and the variable outputs, sorry, I have to go back to it. um my laptop is a little bit bad, so I have to go back to it. So the b variable outputs equation of the trend line, and multiplies the y-intercept by the exponent um of the slope of the line times the x-axis, and computes the line. Hold on has the trend line data, and this right here, it outputs the trend line. Um, and the expo label function variable, and this text function label of the equation of the trend line, and the code to customize and plots the text box. That's what they do, and um it says right here that if the user selects um electric production, it's no, sorry, the second option, it's basically gonna do the same thing as it does in the first option. It's only that the data is different from the first one, and that's basically what it's gonna do. And we have to put an end to the conditional statement function conditional statement, sorry. And this is the amount of for electric cars or solar cars, and the amount of gasoline cars. So AGGC calculates the average of gasoline cars, and AGEC function calculates the average of electric or solar cars. And what we do next is that we ask the user what it will like, or sorry, the amount of what the amount of money spent on fuel for gasoline, and put gasoline cars or solar powered cars. And this AGGC and AGEC function, they calculate the amount of money spent on both of them. And if the user selects the first option, it outputs the average of an average amount spent on gasoline cars, because the first option is gasoline cars, and if it selects the second option, it outputs the amount of money spent on solar cars, because that's what the second function is. And after that, we ask the user whether it would like to see the expected amount of money spent for different time length, and if and we create a conditional statement that is gonna make the user that's gonna force the user to select the first option, which is yes. So if it selects anything other than its first option, it's gonna terminate the program. That's what this error function is, and you wouldn't be able to run the code further. And if it select the first function, that's what the else is. It would ask us, would you like to select the price for different time length for a gasoline powered car or solar powered car? And we store that in a variable called mm3. And this GC day, GC week, GC month calculates is for the gasoline and calculates the daily average cost for gasoline cars, and the weekly average cost for gasoline cars, and the monthly average cost for gasoline cars. So the MM3 variable I just talked about, if it select the first option of the MM3 variable, it outputs if they select the first options, then we create another variable, and in this variable we ask the user whether it would like to see cost for fuel for gasoline over a period day, week, or month. And if it selects the first option, which is day, it outputs the average cost spent in a day. And if we select the second option, which is a week, it outputs the money spent in a week. And if we select the third option, which is a month, it outputs the monthly cost. And just as we just in the last section, in the code I just left, as we calculated the gasoline, the average cost for gasoline cars, we're also gonna calculate the average cost for electric cars per day, week, and month, just the same thing. And we create another variable too, which is C2. And in this variable, we just ask the user whether it would like a day or week or a month, and it's basically the same thing. If you select the first option, which is a day, it outputs the expected amount of money spent on a day, the average expected amount of money spent in a day. And if is the second option, average amount of money spent in a week, third option, average amount of money spent in a month. And after that we end that conditional statement, and we create we create another variable whereby you ask the user, would it like to run this whole program again, because that's the end of our program. And if the user selects yes, we use a while function. And if the user selects yes, which is the first option, we make it so that the program is going to run and run again until you select a no. So I've just finished going through the code. So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to run the code so that it will see everything. Well, I have run the code before I started the video, and I didn't clear my command window, so I'm gonna have to clear my command window now. Just a minute. CLC. My computer is a bit slow, so I hope I don't get points off that. So I'm gonna run the code again, and my computer is very, very slow. So like the first one, which one we'd like to select? Solar. it outputs the graph, so the expected amount of money. Um, we can select anyone, gasoline, the time length, yes, um, what would we like to see gasoline or gasoline, day, week, or month. Let's choose day. Would you like to run this program again? Well, just to see whether the while loop we made here work, I'll run the program again. Um, yes, and which one do you like? Solar, gasoline. I should have chosen solar because the last one was gasoline. The different time length, yes, gasoline because we selected gasoline. Let's select gasoline now. Let's select another one, maybe month. Would you like to run this program again? I mean, we've run it all the time, so no. And it outputs everything. It outputs everything. Yeah. No. So it outputs everything, and that's basically a code. I hope that the video is good because this is my first time doing something like that, and I hope I don't get many points taken off because I'm not perfect and I need those points. Thank you.